All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara St. Clair. I'm the Director of Operations at the Encova Center for Innovation Entrepreneurship, and we are talking about the Collegiate Business Plan Competition today. So I would like to start with introductions. So I just gave mine, and then I'll just pick someone, and then after you do your introduction, pick someone else. So Dr. Carrie White, would you like to go first?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Carrie White. I think I know mostly everybody on the call. I'm the Executive Director for the Launch Lab here at WVU. And Neely. Hi, Neely.
Hi, everybody. I'm Neely Satzer. I am actually the new chair of business at Wheeling University. And I also do a part-time gig with the SBDC, so I do their training. So if you ever need that, just let me know. The next one I see is Angela.
Hi, everyone. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurial Studies at Concord. And I teach some of the management classes and stuff like that here. Hey, Olin.
Thank you, Angela. Olin York, full-time instructor in the College of Business at Marshall University and Director of Entrepreneurial Education. Tricia?
Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay, I've been having some microphone issues this morning. Thank you. I'm Tricia Ball. I am also at Marshall University, and I'm the Associate Director of our Center for Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, also known as the I Center. I will kick it over to Amy.
Hi there. My name is Amy Weaver, and I teach business technology on the Potomac State College campus. And I see Shane.
Hey guys, I'm Shane Welter. I'm the business program director at West Virginia Junior College. And then who hasn't went yet? Is everyone going?
I'll take it. Jim Dovell, Shepherd University. Basically, the entrepreneurship person at Shepherd University is where my background is. I am a lifetime business owner, and at the same time, anything to do with entrepreneurship at Shepherd is where I am.
All right. This is Kyung Kim in WVU at WVU Tech. I am an associate professor at WVU Tech. I'm teaching management and entrepreneurship.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. Well, I know you guys are very familiar with the business plan competition, and we have a couple of changes this year. So I'll just kind of quickly go through some of the things that are new, and then we'll break them down when we go through each slide. But this year we are changing round one. We're not doing the business model canvas in round one. I got a lot of feedback. So the students and you guys are my customer, and I got a lot of feedback that the business model canvas is just too much for that round one. So we've decided to go with a 90-second YouTube video so the students can really talk about what their idea is. And then in round two, they're working on that business model canvas. And we added a workshop this year. So we'll have one before the semifinals and two before the finals. And we're moving away from having a winner or multiple winners. We will have one big technical assistance fund that I am fundraising for, and I will share the flyer with you guys to help me raise these funds. But so there's no guaranteed maximum amount right now. So as much as we can raise, we're going to try and give that away. If the students make it to the final round, as always, they are guaranteed $1,000 if they participate in each of the steps. But we're really trying to move away from winners. And then we're still moving forward with the Shark Tank kind of feel at the end where they're pitching in front of investors. But those investors will have this fund to give money away, and then they'll have the opportunity to invest in the companies as well. The goal, we want these students to start their businesses in the state of West Virginia. They can solve problems in their community, the state, the country, the world. And we want to supply them with those tools and that education to really start up and be successful in the state. Okay, so just some reminders. This competition is open for profit and not for profit ideas. We changed that a couple of years back. We also changed that the competition is open to part-time and full-time students. They just have to be taking a minimum of 3 credit hours and be degree seeking. And they can have 1 to 4 members on their teams. And Angela or Olin, if you guys want to talk about how teams can mix and match, we had a team make it to the finals last year. One of the students was from Concord and the other was from Marshall. So I don't know if you guys want to, kind of talk about that process.
I'll let Angela take that one. She was a little bit more familiar with that than I was.
It worked out really well. We were able to coordinate meetings by Zoom, and honestly, most of the time, Bree was in her dorm room even during our meetings, even though she was on our campus, and Reggie was in his dorm room. And so then we were able to really maximize our time because we were able to meet at the same time. We didn't have to worry about all of that. We didn't have to drive to locations or anything as far as that part goes. The only time that I know of that they truly were all together was when they went to the Eye Center, I believe, Trisha, I think is where they were at to film their video. I'm thinking it was somewhere at Marshall, but I'm thinking it was the Eye Center that they used. But it seemed to work really well together.
Yeah. Well, if anyone has any questions on that, they can mix from any school from across the state, even if it's 3 or 4 different schools. I think that we've seen through Zoom that they can do this and make it work. So thank you guys for working together and supporting those teams from across the state. All right, so here's just a quick overview of what they're doing this year. In round 1, they're doing that 90-second YouTube video. In round 2, they're using the business model canvas, which you guys are familiar with. That's what they previously did in round 1. And then as always, in that final round, they're doing the business plan, and then they'll come live and pitch that business idea to the judges. So in round 1, another change that we had, we moved to Venture Dash. It was a more affordable option. So we are excited. It's still online. So that team leader will still do the same process. They'll go online, they'll create an account, but this year they'll just be submitting that YouTube video link. It can be up to 90 seconds, and entries are due November 5th by noon, which is a Friday. And here's what they're talking about in that round 1 video. They need to explain their idea. What is it? Is it a product or a service? That's one thing that I had a lot of feedback from the judges on, that students jump into their business model without talking about what actually the idea is. So they need to really state what the idea is, and then what problem are they solving and why is it a problem? And we really want to focus on who is your customer and how are you solving their problem. So if the students make it past round 1, they will head to the semifinals. The semifinals this year will be online, but before they get there, we want to make sure that they're prepared. So we'll hold a semifinals workshop. Carrie has graciously offered to live stream the semifinals at the W Launch Lab. So if you and or your students are interested in coming and checking out the Launch Lab, I'll let Carrie kind of talk about what the Launch Lab is.
So for those of you who don't know, the Launch Lab is the Applied Innovation Center here in Morgantown on the Evansdale campus. And our services are available to all students across the state and virtually or in person. So students are welcome to come in, or we can schedule a virtual meeting with them. And basically, we'll work with them all the way through their idea creation, all the way through, their pitch, presentation, putting their canvas together. We can help them with their video. We have a video recording studio here. We can edit their videos for them. Pretty much anything the students need. If they need something outside of what their coaches are providing them already, or if they just need, a second set of eyes on things, we're happy to do that. Just let me know in advance. We also have a Maker Lab prototyping studio. So if students want to make a physical representation or prototype of their idea, we can do that here as well. So you can contact me directly or share my contact information with the students, and I'm happy to set up times to meet with any of them.
Thanks, Carrie. We appreciate you doing that. And as Carrie talked about, for those coaches in the semifinal round, we do require each team to have at minimum one coach in the semifinals. But I think the more the merrier. I think the students do better when they have different perspectives. So you guys as institutional leaders, you would be their coach at their institution. I always like to have someone from private industry giving them some subject matter expertise advice. And then also, as you just heard Carrie say, the Launch Lab has offered additional sets of eyes. If you're feeling like, hey, we just want to get some other opinions out here, you are welcome to work with the Launch Lab as well, and that is free to all students. The semifinals this year, we are moving online just out of an abundance of caution. You know, I love having in-person events, but we are just with COVID going on right now, we're just going to say we're moving it online, and we're just going to have the business model canvas template, which you guys are all familiar with. Again, that is what we used to use in round 1. That will now be what we do in round 2. We will announce the finalists and alternates before February 1st. And then we'll move on to the final competition. Before they get there, we are excited to announce RCBI, which is through Marshall University, has offered each of the teams phase 0 support. And then both of the workshops, so we'll have 2, both in February, will again be live streamed at the W Launch Lab. All right, so they go through their workshops, they work with RCBI, and they get to the final round. This year will be in Charleston it's looking like the Charleston Convention Center. We're kind of working out those final details right now, but they're going to be submitting those business plans online a week before the final event, so the judges have time, and the potential investors have time to read those business plans prior to the live event. They'll submit those on Venture Dash, and then during the live competition, they'll do their presentation, and we will have question and answer. So they're submitting their final business plans. As I talked about before, we do not have winners this year. It's going to be we will have a technical assistance fund, and as much money as we have, we're going to give out. But we are guaranteeing each finalist team at least $1,000. And then I don't know if you guys have got to see, but the business plan competition got a new website this year. Thank you to our communications team. If you don't follow us on social media, please do. And then I'm going to open it up for questions.
Hey, Tara, I have one more thing I forgot to mention. In the Launch Lab, we are also having several pitch competitions, and if students want to, and it's open to anyone as well. And so if you have students who would like to just practice their pitch, they're welcome to apply in any of our competitions upcoming. And they're also on the web link where Tara put in the chat.
Are you still having one semifinal? Yes. Yep. So as long as you have one entry in your institution in round 1, you are guaranteed a spot at the semifinals. So yes, that is still in place. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Dave Ramberg, how are you?
Doing good. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late.
Oh no, you're good. I got to see Dave just a couple months ago. Dave, do you have any thoughts, suggestions? You've had winners come through the competition.
Well, it's been a couple years for us, but I think the new format is just an adjustment. I think it'll work well. Since we're doing business model canvas for the semifinals in this competition, how will that dovetail with the business model competition that Olin's running?
Olin, do you have any thoughts? I think that they work pretty well together, but Olin, I'll let you give your thoughts.
That's always a little bit unpredictable because of the timing of the competitions. The business plan competition launches before business model competition. So I would anticipate if someone does enough work within the business plan competition that they have a fairly robust business model canvas that it will, kind of work nicely with our competition. But, those things are just kind of hard to predict.
Yep.
Any other questions? One thing I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on. I've never held something like this, a meeting before the competition for students to ask questions. Do you think that that would be beneficial, or is that something that you can handle on your guys' end? I'm happy to do it, but no one's ever requested it. But I've kind of been thinking about, should I be holding this since we're so virtual and it's easy to host something? Should I have some type of, helpful hints for the business plan competition, or, ask me anything event, virtual event?
I got some feedback. So, in the past, I've only been a part of this for a couple of years, but in the past, I've only offered this event to our ground students on the Morgantown campus because I thought it was too hard for our online students to be able to participate in. But this year, because it's really user-friendly for remote learners, we actually pushed it out to all the online students this year. So we posted it on Facebook and we posted it on our learning management system to all of our online students. So it's reaching a lot more people for us this year than it has in the past. And, we scheduled, we set some time apart to do a info session on it. Having said that, no one has signed up for the info session yet. So, I don't know if it's something that people would benefit from or people want to do or not. But I really like the plan this year for it. I think the 90-second video is right up the alley for where our students are now. Social media and, TikTok, and that's right up their alley.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
I would do it just as a little experiment, just since I feel like it'd be a low lift to set up a Zoom meeting and kind of push it out through social media. And then if no one shows up, you can just log off. I feel like it's an easy time to experiment with things since, everything's so online and not in person. So I feel like it would be the year to try it out just to see if there's interest in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I could do it probably in late October. You guys know students always wait till the last minute to do things and ask questions. So I'll try and hold off till closer to the deadline, because I think that that's when students are like, oh, this is something I actually do want to do and I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, I can absolutely do that. And then obviously I'll send all the information out to you guys to help push out. Any other?
I usually get a few questions along the way each year. And I've had instances where I didn't know the answer and I would reach out and talk to you directly or get the information from you. So in this case, if there's going to be a virtual event, then we may just start steering everybody there if we don't have the answer on hand.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and another thing that I'm really trying to push this year is that this competition isn't just for business students. I've gotten actually several emails already this semester of, I'm not a business student, can I participate? And the answer is yes. This competition is open to part-time students, full-time students from any major. They could be undergraduate, graduate. So if you guys can kind of help me champion that message and get it across the state that this competition is open to everyone. And typically we see the teams that do the best are diversified teams that maybe have one business student on it and then someone with a different type of expertise. So if you guys could help me kind of, get that message out there, I would be appreciative. Or if you have a student that comes to you that, they aren't feeling comfortable, like they have an idea, but they aren't comfortable on the, business side, we can work together through this group to kind of match people up. If there's, a business student that's saying, I don't really have an idea, but I'd like to be involved. I'd like to be an entrepreneur. I'd like to, be a CEO someday, matching those students up. So if you have any of those types of students, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to, get the group to work together to support everyone in the best way we can. All right, any other thoughts? All right, well, this is going to be a short meeting then. All right, I'll stop the.
That's because you're so well organized, Tara.
Oh, thank you. Well, now I can stop the recording that you've said that, Carrie.